Afternoon, everybody. We have a tornado warning that has been issued for parts of Franklin and Jackson counties here. This is a tornado warning that just came out. This is for a thunderstorm northeast of Newmarket that's been showing signs of rotation here over the last little bit. So, if you know anybody in these areas here, specifically around Keith Springs Mountain, over to High Top, up towards Sherwood, down to Bass, make sure that they are finding a place of safety. And right now, what I'm tracking here is this little signature you see right in here to the west of High Top. You can see how the thunderstorm is rotating there. And there has been some evidence over the last little bit, considering there's been a storm merger, that since it's merged with this little cluster, it's caused a little bit of rotation here. So as I look here at the storm relative velocity, the rotation's not all that strong, thankfully. But if you are anywhere around the Larkin, Estill Fork, High Top, Jericho, Francisco areas of Jackson County, Alabama, and up around the Keith Springs Mountain area of Franklin County, Tennessee, over to Sherwood and Anderson, just make sure that you are finding your place of safety, because a tornado could spin up at any time here. So, and I will say this, I mean, this formed very, very fast, so it's caught me by surprise, which usually it doesn't in these instances, but this is one of those situations here today that, given this quick spin up variety, a lot can happen here, and these can form very, very fast. So thankfully this was caught early in advance, so we know what's going on. Now, I do want to stress the point, we do not have a tornado on the ground with this at this time. Right now it is radar indicated, but again, if you are in this warned polygon, you need to be taking your tornado safety precautions. That would be a small room on the lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. If you got a bike helmet or something to put on to take with you down to that shelter, do that. If you don't have a basement, interior room, closet, hallway, bathroom, lowest floor, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And of course, make sure you stay away from windows here. So again, this tornado warning will go into effect for parts of Jackson, Madison, and Franklin counties until 2:15. So I'll read you the information here. At 1:24, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Newmarket or 12 miles east of Moore's Mill, moving east at 35 miles an hour. Hazard is a tornado. It's radar indicated, and this will mainly remain over mainly rural areas of northwestern Jackson and southeastern Franklin counties, including the following locations: Bass, Francisco, Jericho, Estill Fork, High Top, Anderson, Sherwood, and Larkin. So if you're in any of those communities I just called out, make sure you're going to your safe place. Now, as far as you see, there's a new update right there's come in. Now, let me tell you who's not in this warning. If you're in Huntland, you're not in this warning. If you're in Winchester, Deckard, Cowan, Suwanee, Estill Springs, you're not in this warning. You're good up there. If you're down in Bridgeport, Stevenson, Sand Mountain, Scottsboro, this is to your west and north. You don't have to worry about this. This is to your west right now. Now, Bridgeport, if this storm does hold together, it could reach you, so just stay alert there. But if you're in Stevenson, at least downtown Stevenson and south, you don't have to worry about this storm. This is going to pass to your north and west by several miles here, so that's good news for you guys. But again, I do want to emphasize that we do have this tornado warning here that's in effect for parts of Jackson and Franklin counties. And as I pan out here, this is not the only area of stormage that I'm watching. We got another line of thunderstorms that's developing out to the west around Interstate 65 that's going to be pressing east over the next few hours, and there's also the possibility of more storms here as we go deeper into the afternoon and evening. So we really need to stay on guard here. I know you haven't had anything yet out here in the Squatchy Valley or points east towards Chattanooga or North Georgia, but with time, these thunderstorms will more than likely reach your areas here over the next several hours, and you'll have that opportunity to contend with the possibility of these severe storms. So make sure y'all are spreading out the word on this live, since we got this tornado warning in parts of Franklin and Jackson County. So again, I will emphasize this once again. You are fine in Winchester. This is not a threat to you. If you're in Huntland, you're good. Scottsboro, Stevenson, you're fine. This is staying off to your north and west. So let's go into this a little deeper here and show you the velocity. And I'm going to be honest with you, this to me resembles more of a strong wind signature as opposed to a tornadic signature, as you see here to the west of Larkin, Alabama, here along Highway 146 and also north of 65 there. And I'll query that wind to show you how strong that is, and it's showing about 55 to 65. So that's a very strong wind gust there moving right over the Larkin area, and as I said, the rotation's very disorganized, thankfully. But I say it really resembles to me more of a strong winds, severe thunderstorm warning kind of scenario as opposed to a tornado warning. But because there was an interaction between a storm that formed ahead of the cluster and the cluster itself, those two kind of merged. It did set off a little bit of some weak rotation aloft, and therefore that's why we have this tornado warning that's in effect in this red color. So I will emphasize this: no travel along Highway 79 south of Winchester or north of Scottsboro. If you know anybody that's on that road, tell them to either turn around or stop and wait this out. Also, no travel along Highway 117 in Jackson County north of Stevenson and Highway 56 south of Suwanee. Stay off those roads right now and wait for this to pass, or at least for the warning to be allowed to expire, which expires here in about 45 minutes, which is 2:15. So those are the other areas in line. So let's put a storm track here on this, so that way I can give those of you to the east a heads up on this. And if this holds together, if this thunderstorm does hold together, this could move into Marion County here within the next half hour. So you folks in South Pitt up towards Jasper and the lake, you guys need to watch this closely. Again, Sherwood, this will be in your area around 2 o'clock. Orem, South Pitt area around 2:07. Bridgeport area around 2:13. New Hope about 2:18. 2:22 for the Jasper, Kimball area. About 2:25 for Little Squatchy if it gets that far north. And then Whiteside at about 2:30. And I think this misses most of Whitwell, but if this thunderstorm were to jog a little north, it may impact Whitwell there around 2:34. Again, those are estimated times of arrival there on the screen there on the right. Again, subtract a few minutes either way. It's not perfect, it's just estimated, but it gives you kind of a general idea of how much territory that this thunderstorm may cover over the next hour if it can hold its strength, and that's the big if. Because we also have another thunderstorm here that's fairly strong. That's about to merge into this leading storm here. So we'll have to see how this interacts with this. So, and we really won't know about that for probably another, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes or so. So at the moment, I do want to emphasize that this is the only severe warning we have in the entire area at this time. So southern Franklin, northern Jackson counties are the only areas experiencing severe weather as of this minute here, as of 1:34 p.m. Central on Monday, June 22nd. However, this could change here in about a half hour or so as this possibly moves into parts of southern Marion County, into northeastern Jackson County, and might even clip the northern end of Dade as well. But I think it probably stays in Tennessee for the most part. But this could also impact the Chattanooga Metro also here within the next hour or two as well. So make sure you're watching this closely in the city, because this could head your way here too at some point down the road. As I said, this is crossing over Highway 65 in northwest Jackson County right now, north of Larkin, south of Francisco. Again, if you're in Huntland, you're fine. This is off to your south. And you can kind of see how this thunderstorm has a little bit of rotation. Again, it resembles more of a straight line wind signature on the velocity, but if you look closely here on reflectivity, you can kind of see how it hooks around a little like this. And that's the signature that meteorologists and forecasters like myself look for to find where there could be quick spin-up tornadoes. And you kind of see where it's wrapped around, where the rain is kind of wrapped around on itself right there. So you're not going to be able to see anything if there was a quick spin-up tornado, because it would be wrapped in rain. So there's just no use in going out and looking for it. So if you're around High Top and up through Jericho and east towards Anderson and Sherwood and even the Bass community there along 117 in Jackson County and up into the southern end of Franklin County, just make sure you're inside in a good, safe place. Again, if you have a basement, that's where you go. If you don't have a basement, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. No mobile homes, no cars. If you have a closet or bathroom that's on the lowest level or hallway, that's where you go. If you're on the second floor of a home, you go on the first level. Again, the good thing here is that this is going over a fairly sparsely rural wooded area here across right here along the Tennessee-Alabama state line. But again, it's going to encounter some population centers, though, if it were to hold together and survive these mountains out in here as it moves towards the southern Squatchy Valley. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, and also watch and see how this thunderstorm over Skyline High Top moving up Highway 79 interacts with this individual storm that I will say has tried to carry on. I mean, it was linear earlier as it was in the Madison County area, but as it approached Newmarket, it kind of, as it merged with this cell that formed ahead of it, it started kind of becoming its own a little, and became a little bit more supercell-like, which is another reason why also this tornado warning was issued. Now, velocities, the good thing here is that this has come down a little bit, so I think it's kind of feeling the pressure of this other storm coming in from the south. But as I say that, we'll have to watch and see how that interacts over the next few minutes. But again, I'm not really seeing any indications of any strong rotation at this time, so some good news there on that end of things. Again, that could always change, of course, in a few minutes or wherever that may be, so just want to make sure you're on guard of that. All right, let me read you this new update that's coming in. As you see the new warning update flashing on the screen. At 1:36, a severe thunderstorm that's capable of producing a tornado was located 9 miles south of Huntland, or 18 miles east of Moores Mill. It's moving east at 30. There's also a second area of rotation that has since formed to the north of the main circulation. Hazard is a tornado. It's radar indicated. The locations that are in the path of this include Anderson, High Top, Bass, Francisco, Jericho, Estill Fork, Sherwood, and Larkin. So those are the locations, again, in the path of that. So that was a warning update that was released, and there just a minute ago, as you saw that flash on the screen. Again, I do want to kind of point out the color key here. The blue polygon you see that surrounds the tornado warning, that's the special weather statement. And the red you see on here is the tornado warning. Remember, tornado warnings here are red. If it was a confirmed tornado, it would have been in dark red. So it's light red, which means it's radar indicated. If this was confirmed, it would be a dark red. So I just want to point that out to you and how I've color-coded this scheme, so that way you'll be able to know the difference between a radar indicated and confirmed. If it was confirmed, this would be a darker red. But thankfully, we're not at that point right now, so that's some good news. At least this is staying radar indicated, and hopefully we'll allow this thing to expire here in a matter of moments. Again, unfortunately, considering this thing is going right over the High Top radar site, you can kind of see how it's looking all muddled in here in the middle, so it's kind of fallen into a little bit of a radar hole right there, so it's going to get a little bit harder to see, especially the velocity data in here. So I would not be surprised here, considering this warning expires in 35 minutes, especially if it continues to look disorganized in here. They may just let this warning go and expire it. Now, a quick reminder here, I'm also broadcasting this live on my YouTube channel. That's Chase Bryant Weather over there on YouTube. So you can watch over there, subscribe for free, and all that, and watch over there. And you could also, with watching on the YouTube side, you can even program that to your TV as well. So you could do that too from the YouTube channel. So I'm broadcasting here on all platforms here, Facebook and YouTube here, because of this situation. So right now, the main area where we're watching for strong wind gusts and the possibility of some rotation here is crossing over Highway 79, pretty much right halfway between High Top and the Keith Springs Mountain area. So right along the Tennessee-Alabama border in a nutshell. And that's moving off to the east. So if you're along Highway 79 on the Jackson County side and Highway 16 on the Tennessee side, which is Road Gap Road south of Winchester, make sure you're seeking shelter. This also goes for the Highway 117 corridor that you see that comes out of Stevenson here around the Bass, Pleasant Grove areas up towards Gaunce, and then up on the Tennessee side in Franklin County from south of Suwanee, so below the mountain there, down into Sherwood and Anderson along 56. Those are the areas that are currently needing to make sure you're sheltered here until this passes. Now, not to forget about this line back out here to the west, this broken line out here. So far, it's non-severe as this approaches southern middle Tennessee here, but it does have the potential to produce some heavy downpours, some lightning and gusty winds. I'll check on that to see if it's got anything interesting real fast. And so far, no, but as I said, the one thing we're going to have to watch here along the leading edge of these thunderstorms is the possibility that there could be some weak little rotations here that could try to form aloft and sometimes even translate down to the surface. Again, as I said, it's a low threat, but it's not zero. So now I've been looking to see here behind the scenes also if there's been any kind of reports of damage or anything. I've not ran into anything like that so far, so that's good to hear. I've been looking to see if there's been anything from Newmarket or other areas, but so far, I've not heard or seen anything, at least in that aspect here, as that moves off from west to east there. But again, we'll just have to watch this carefully as it moves off to the east. Again, if you're in southern Marion County, you don't have anything to worry about right now. But again, just keep an eye on this storm as it's off to your west here, because if it does hold together or try to reorganize itself, it could be a problem for you here within the next half hour, as well as the Bridgeport area. So, again, if you're watching from Sand Mountain, you got some other thunderstorms moving in from Scottsboro and Guntersville, but these are non-severe. You don't have anything to worry about down on Sand Mountain. If you're around Scottsboro, again, nothing to worry about there. If you're up here along Highway 64 or 41A from Swanee down through Cowan, Winchester, Belvedere, Huntland points north, this is not a concern for you. Again, this is the far southern end of Franklin County here, atop of the Keith Springs Mountain area. So there's Roe Gap Road that connects with 79 as you move into Alabama, and then east into the Sherwood and Anderson areas, as well as Tantalon up there. So these are the spots right now that need to be on alert. And this is also going over the Skyline Wildlife Management area, so very wooded area, as well as the Walls of Jericho. Some landmarks you may be able to understand in these areas. Again, the only area I'm picking out here, at least as far as wind is concerned, it doesn't look like rotating wind, but it's showing some strong wind of about 50, just below severe levels here, climbing up the mountain and moving into the high top area. And as you see here, this circle you see right here, that's the radar site itself. So this area of wind you see right here where you get the bright blue and the bright green, it's going pretty much right over that radar site. So hopefully we don't end up losing that. But again, that's going to be something to keep an eye on as that moves towards, again, the Skyline Wildlife Management area and passes towards Pleasant Grove, the Bass community. So if you know anybody there along Highway 117, north of Stevenson, call, text, tag them on the comments on Facebook. I have that ability open as well, so if you know somebody that happens to be up in there or up around the Sherwood area, just tag them, whatever you got to do. Just make sure that they are aware through at least the next 20-30 minutes that they have this tornado warning in effect. And it's a good idea to keep this going, even though I don't see evidence of an imminent tornado at this time. I do think it's safe to keep this up out of precaution in case of this storm were to cycle back up, because there's a lot of merging happening with this. So the signature here, as you see here, you just see how muddled it is. It's very messy, so that's a really good thing. So we'll just have to see how this behaves as it tracks off to the east. So far it seems to be disrupting this little area that was spinning not too long ago, but that prompted this warning. But again, we'll just have to keep an eye on it as it progresses farther off to the east. Again, also got some other thunderstorms going on here to the north here. I want to check out real fast. Some thunder and lightning around Estill, but you don't have anything to worry about there. There's a heavy downpour east of Manchester that extends up Highway 53 through New Union, up through Pocahontas, and into Woodbury, and that's heading towards McMinnville. So I know you already had a good round of soaking rain this morning in McMinnville, but you're going to have another round of heavy rain there momentarily. Good news, though, you don't have anything severe. Hopefully that morning rain that you had up there this morning will continue to help stabilize things for you guys and keep y'all out of the severe weather danger, which is kind of what the SPC, NWS have been kind of leaning at here across the upper Cumberland and up towards I-40. But again, just stay on guard in case things were to change. Again, here's this other line that I'm watching out here to the west that's broken. Non-severe, no warnings on it this time, but some gusty thunderstorms moving across the Giles County area, moving into Lincoln County, up into Shelbyville, and those, if they hold together, will move into Coffee County and Franklin, as well as Grundy County, here within the next hour or so. So get ready out ahead of this, because you may have some more thunderstorms. And right now I don't see anything else lining up out towards Memphis, but there is the possibility, again, from now through this evening that we'll have more thunderstorms moving through, and some of those could be severe. Now back to this tornado warned area. As I said, it's the only warning we got in the whole area right now. So far, as I look at this, it just doesn't really speak out to me, and as you see, it's very disorganized. And plus, it's going right into the high top radar, so it's going to be a lot harder to detect, at least on velocity at this point. So far, as I said, it looks disorganized, but we'll keep an eye on it just to make sure that it doesn't try to re-strengthen. So here's a new warning update that I just got in. So let me get that information out real fast since it's flashing on the screen. This remains in effect until 2:15 for North Central Jackson and Southeastern Franklin counties. At 1:46, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles north of Skyline, or 18 miles south of Winchester, moving east at 25. Hazard is a tornado, its radar indicated. Locations that are in the path of this include Anderson, High Top, Bass, Jericho, and Sherwood. So those are the locations, again, in the path of that. Just a little bit of a reminder, that's the recent update. Still keeping it radar indicated as suspected here. And again, as I said, hopefully it stays that way and doesn't touch down. Some good shelter advice here. Move to the basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle in this area, go move to the closest. Make sure you move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. And don't forget that with this thunderstorm, given the amount of torrential rain that's fallen, that's another thing with these thunderstorms, in addition to the lightning and the possibility of a strong wind gusts and even a little bit of rotation, is there's also the added risk of torrential rainfall. And that is occurring with this thunderstorm, and it may lead to localized areas of flash flooding in low-lying areas. So that's another thing to note of here for those of you, especially in northern Jackson County, northwest of Stevenson and north of Scottsboro here over the next half hour or so. So in addition to the threat of severe weather, you also have the risk for a little bit of localized flash flooding with this. And again, you see the lightning count on here. You might be able to see that on the screen where you got these little bolts here. I don't have an exact number, at least as far as a detection, but there's quite a bit of lightning in this as well. So definitely going to be very electrical. So you don't want to be outside in this as this moves off to the east. And it'll be very interesting here, see, once this gets past the high top radar site here, to see whether or not this warning will be extended either as a severe thunderstorm warning or another tornado warning, or perhaps just a special weather statement, which would be this blue polygon you see here, which, based on what I'm seeing here, at least as far as wind mode is concerned, I don't think there will be a need, at least right now, to extend it as a tornado warning. Now, we do now have a new special weather statement here. So speaking of that, Marion, Sequatchie, and Hamilton counties, you now have a special weather statement for up to 50 mile an hour wind gusts that expires in 1 hour. So let me get that out there real quick. This is a special weather statement for parts of Hamilton, all of Marion, and most of Sequatchie counties. This goes into effect until 2:45 p.m. Central and 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time. At 2:48 p.m. Eastern, 1:48 p.m. Central, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm located 10 miles north of Skyline or 16 miles south of Winchester. It's moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Hazard is wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. It is radar indicated. Locations that are in the path of this include Chattanooga, Dunlap, Jasper, Soddy Daisy, Signal Mountain, South Pittsburgh, Walden, Kimball, Whitwell, and Mott Eagle. So those are the locations that are in the path of this. Again, this is not a tornado warning. This is not a severe thunderstorm warning. This is a special weather statement, which is indicated by that bright blue you see there, that expires in 1 hour for all of Marion, most of Sequatchie, and the southwestern half of Hamilton County. So considering this is moving northeast at 45 miles an hour, it's going to be a quick mover. So at least it's not going to stall. It's not going to sit around, thankfully. So this is actually moving, which will at least help mitigate any potential flash flooding risks as this moves off to the north and east. Now, again, since we're getting radar updates in here every couple of minutes, so hopefully this will continue to show a sign of weakening. Again, I just don't see any evidence of rotation anymore. I mean, all I'm seeing is just one color moving away, and you can kind of see where these bright reds are indicating strong gusty winds. So if it was up to me, I'd probably already cancel this tornado warning because I just don't see enough evidence of anything really concerning at this point on that end of things. To me, the way this is trending into just a gusty thunderstorm with 40, maybe 40 up to 50 mile an hour gusts with some lightning and quite a bit of rainfall. I mean, it's going to be a mess. If you're out driving in this, and if you have to be out driving here, whether it's for a midday brunch or whatever that may be, just make sure you're ready because this is going to be a messy one here as this moves off to the north and east. A lot of heavy rain, very heavy rain with this, quite a bit of lightning, and also those gusty winds. So, I mean, if it gets to a point where you can't see anything, just make sure that you pull over here. So, as I said, this is going to be one messy thunderstorm as it moves into the Bridgeport area here within the next half hour, and then eventually across southern Marion County. And again, the southern end of this will probably clip northern Dade and possibly northern Walker here. So, and this goes all the way down to just on the east side of Huntsville. So this is a long kind of cluster / little broken line here that's moving from southwest to northeast here. across portions of the tri-state. And then this line back here, out here to the west continues to look fairly healthy. Non-severe at this time, but there's some indication of gusty wind and heavy rain with this, perhaps maybe a little bit of pea-sized hail as well. It extends from the Shelbyville area down through about just west of Fayetteville and south of Pulaski. But again, at the moment, this line back here to the west is non-severe, but it is trying to organize a little as it's running into an air mass that really hasn't been tapped as much as it's been up north. And we'll have to wait and see if any boundaries form from this storm that's had the tornado warning, see if that forms any kind of boundary or anything down the road, because if that were to form some kind of boundary, that could allow more strong to severe storms to form along that. So that'll be something to watch too. But here is the second line. Here's the first batch right here, moving up into northeast Jackson, I should say, southeast Franklin into Marion County. Some more storms go down east of Scottsboro up around Section, west of Rainsville, and we now have a severe thunderstorm warning. So this warning has been extended as a severe thunderstorm warning and will replace this tornado warning. So that's what I'm getting word of, and as you see in this orange polygon you see on the map, this has now been changed to a severe thunderstorm warning. Now the tornado warning still technically remains in effect until 2:15 for this same area, but the severe thunderstorm warning has been extended to the east and will more than likely replace this tornado warning. So let me get you the information on that. This goes in effect for northeastern Jackson and southeastern Franklin counties until 3 o'clock. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. At 1:52, a severe thunderstorm was located 9 miles northwest of Stevenson or 15 miles west of Bridgeport. It's moving east at 25 miles an hour. It's this storm you see right here in the middle part of your screen. This is for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It is radar indicated. Locations that are in the path of this include Bridgeport, Anderson, High Top, Bass, Jericho, Long Island, Russell Cave, and Sherwood. And this also includes the Bryant area of Sand Mountain. So if you're up there on the mountain in Bryant, this is heading your way. This will miss Higdon and Flat Rock. This won't affect you, but this will likely affect those of you in Bryant and also Bridgeport and areas north of Stevenson here. Now, good news here. As I suspected there just a few minutes ago, this severe thunderstorm warning replaces the tornado warning that was in effect. So therefore, the tornado warning for Franklin and Jackson has been canceled. So if you're watching from Sherwood, if you're watching from west of Bridgeport, north of Stevenson, around Bass, and even back towards High Top, the tornado warning has been canceled. As I've been saying here the last 10-20 minutes, the rotation has weakened significantly. And when you look at velocities here, they're definitely strong, producing some damaging wind here that could be 50 to 60 miles an hour, but it has lost its tornadic signature, and therefore this warning has been the tornado warning has been canceled and has been replaced with this severe thunderstorm warning you see here in the orange that goes in effect again until 3 o'clock for northeastern Jackson County and southeastern Franklin County, Tennessee, Jackson County, Alabama, of course. Now, question is, what are they going to do for southern Marion here because of the close proximity? Now, it would not be impossible if this severe thunderstorm warning gets extended into southern Marion County, but at this time, it does not appear that's happening, at least at the moment. But again, of course, if that happens, I will definitely let you know that. So let's hang out here for a little bit since we still got this one warning here, since we're working this severe thunderstorm warning, just in case something were to re-intensify here. Let's investigate the wind here. And it's showing about 300 feet off the ground, showing some 55 to 60 miles an hour, and showing some winds of 55 to 60 miles an hour, which is very appropriate for a severe thunderstorm warning to be issued. So great call on that end. And up on the Tennessee side, it's a little weaker, showing some 45 to 50 up here on the south side of Sherwood there and towards Anderson, moving towards the Franklin State Forest and also Orr Mountain. But again, it could re-intensify, so make sure that you're being aware over there. And we'll check on these other storms up here to the north real fast. Make sure they're not re-intensifying or anything. They're trying to, but some really good soaking rains up in here. From Centertown and Warren County, west of McMinnville, down here south of Woodbury, to about Beech Grove and Coffee County, through Wartrace, Shelbyville, west of Fayetteville there. That's an interesting little signature there just north of Fayetteville. Let's see if that's rotating. Thankfully, no. That's actually just a gusty wind signature, but that signature definitely does look a little suspicious. But so far, it's not shown any signs of re-intensification, so that's good. Then down here to the south, more thunderstorms back to the south and west that are also heading in our direction here over the next few hours. So again, we're working one severe warning right now that's for southeastern Franklin, northern Jackson counties. That's moving up into southern Marion, and then we got this line out here to the west, the second line out here. That could also potentially cause some severe weather troubles here over the next few hours. So again, Orem is starting to get in on the heavy rain now. Bridgeport's got a good downpour at the moment, but again, this part over here to the east is not the severe storm. The severe storm's back out here crossing Highway 117 right now. So again, South Pitt, Kimball, Jasper, Haletown, get ready. I know traffic on I-24 East there where they're doing that bridge work over there is a mess right now. And unfortunately, it's not going to get any better because we got this strong to severe storm moving in that has the potential for heavy downpours, lightning, and those gusty winds. So got to really keep an eye on that. Looks like the wind is trying to increase just a little bit here around Anderson and around the Anderson area here, right along the Franklin-Jackson County line. You see winds of 55 to 60 showing up, and this is ramped up a little around Pleasant Grove and Bass there and around northwest of Stevenson, but showing a gust of about 62, 400 feet off the ground. So that's also another reason why we have these severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here. So again, right now for the moment, the blue polygon you see on the map, that's the special weather statement for wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour. And the orange you see right here is the severe thunderstorm warning for gusts that could get up to 60. Severe criteria is a wind gust of 58 miles per hour or higher. So I thought I would bring that up there. We're also getting some rain up here around Pelham, Mott Eagle, moving towards Tracy. Again, this is not the severe stuff. That's staying to your south, at least from this individual storm. But you do have more coming from the west, so you're not quite all clear yet. But again, it's heading your way. So let's put up an updated track on this, and since I haven't done that in a little bit here, I'm gonna put an updated path length, and I'm gonna track where the more stronger part of the winds are. So I'm gonna have to go over here to the velocity scope, and that did come down just a little bit. So again, this storm is definitely cycling, and that's moving off to the northeast here at about 25 miles an hour. So it's actually slowed a little bit. Orem there in the next few minutes here in about 5 to 10 minutes around 209. Again, I'm tracking the wind, not so much the rain. To around 230, 235 in Jasper, as well as Kimball, South Pitt area, and then around 240 for Little Squatchy. Downtown Chattanooga around 4 o'clock or so Eastern time. It'd be 3 o'clock Central time, so probably just after that. And then Fairmount, Signal Mountain area around 417. Same thing for Red Bank, and around 421 for the East Ridge area. Again, that's if this thunderstorm holds together. And again, that's the big if, because even though I will say as this moves farther east, it is moving into an environment out here where it hasn't done much. For example, like Chattanooga, Cleveland, Fordo, Lafayette, Ringgold, even Jasper, even to an extent, there's not been a lot of activity today. It's been fairly calm. There's not been much going on. So these thunderstorms do have more energy to work with as they move off to the east. Now, whether they take advantage of that energy, we don't know yet. But the energy is definitely there for these thunderstorms to continue forming, continue developing, and cycle up and down as they move west to east here across the tri-state. So that's why, we're on alert here, and we do have this severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect for Grundy County, Franklin, Coffee, Jackson, Cow Points west here until 7 o'clock. Let me see if they've extended that by any chance. So far, no. So that's the purple you see on this map. That's the severe thunderstorm watch. But so far, that's not been extended farther east. But if things were to trend up a little bit and any kind of severe weather or anything like that over the next couple of hours or so, I would imagine they probably will extend that watch. Again, that's not my call, but if things were to kind of re-intensify here over the next couple of hours, then the watch might get extended. But again, that's not a guarantee. But here are these other thunderstorms back out to the west. These continue to, it's a broken line. There's some clusters in here that are a little heavier than the others, but this is the other line we'll have to watch as it moves off to the east. So really, I'll break this down here kind of in a nutshell here. Here's the severe cluster, and now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Marion, Hamilton, and Squatchy. So Let me get that information out to you there. That's a new severe thunderstorm warning for Marion, Hamilton, and Sequatchie counties. That's going to go in effect here until 2:45 p.m. Central, 3:45 p.m. Eastern. At 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 2 o'clock p.m. Central, a severe thunderstorm was located 9 miles north of Stevenson, or 9 miles west of Bridgeport. It's moving northeast at 45 miles an hour, so it's went back up a little bit in speed. Hazard is 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It is radar indicated. Locations in the path of this severe storm include Chattanooga, Dunlap, Jasper, Signal Mountain, South Pitt, Walden, Whitwell, Kimball, Ridgeside, and Fairmount. So Signal Mountain, in other words. So those are the locations that are in the path of this severe storm. So that's everything you see in this orange polygon here that you just saw it going on the screen there. That's a new severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning, but a severe thunderstorm warning that goes in effect for pretty much all of Marion County. All of Marion County in a nutshell. The southern half of Sequatchie County from Dunlap south, and the southwestern quarter, 30% or so of Hamilton County from Highway 153 and west. So think Hickson down to about Hamilton Place, points west. That's the part of Hamilton County under the severe thunderstorm warning, including downtown, including Red Bank, all the way up through Signal, and even parts of Falling Water there just west of Saudi. Now, it doesn't quite include those of you in Ottawa or Saudi, but this is heading your way if it holds together. Now, the good thing here so far is this thunderstorm itself, as you see here, it doesn't look very organized, so that's a good sign. However, there are some spots in here, on the velocities you see here, some wind in here, that could be showing 50 to 60 mile an hour winds here. That's moving across the southwestern end of Marion County right now. So right around Sweetens Cove, down through Orme, so up the mountain into Orme, and then over towards South Pitt Mountain area. This is where the strongest winds are at the moment, at least according to Doppler radar. If you're in this area around Kimball, South Pitt, Jasper, let me know what you're seeing if you want to, safely of course. But if you want to, let me know what you're seeing as that moves off to the east. So again, this front part of the severe storm, at least with the heavy rain, is now crossing over Interstate 24, Battle Creek Road, moving into Kimball. Also, South Pittsburgh, it's about to get heavy there along Cedar Avenue there shortly, and points south towards Richard Hardy here in a matter of minutes, if not seconds, considering this is moving east at about 40 to 45. So heads up around Lake Nickajack here, as well as New Hope, up Griffith Highway here, Bennett Lake, Lads, Whiteside, Haletown, Etna Mountain area, up towards Little Sequatchie, Victoria, Kettner Mill, Prentice Cooper, Elder Mountain, downtown Chattanooga, Red Bank. This is all heading in your direction here over the next 10, 20, 30 minutes as this moves from west to east. So again, that's the situation there. We also got some other thunderstorms I want to point out real fast here east of Guntersville, moving up Sand Mountain here in parts of Jackson and DeKalb counties. And then here's the other line of thunderstorms to watch out here to the west. Again, this will be our next little cluster here that we'll have to keep an eye on here as we go through the afternoon. But the most imminent area right now of severe concern is right here across the Chattanooga Metro and that back into the southern Sequatchie Valley. Now, northern Dade County was just added to a special weather statement. That's the new blue polygon you just saw show up there just north of Trenton. That's for northern Dade County. That's a special weather statement that goes in effect for the next 40 minutes here until 3:45 p.m. Eastern. This is for wind gusts up to 40 to 50 miles an hour. So heads up there around areas north of Trenton. So just make sure that if you are, especially in these severe thunderstorm warning areas, make sure that you're inside in a good, safe place away from windows. Now, you don't have to take tornado precautions necessarily, but you do want to be inside. And if you're outside anywhere, make sure you go inside somewhere. At least they can get away from the lightning, because the lightning threat, it is real today with these thunderstorms. So you definitely want to be inside in a good, safe place. I mean, if you have to ride it out in your vehicle, considering there's not a tornado right now, it is safe to ride it out in your vehicle as long as it's not a high-profile one. But if it's a low-profile one, you can ride it out in the vehicle, this thunderstorm in the vehicle, since there's no tornado. But it's most preferred to go inside a sturdy structure, for example, like a restaurant, a convenience store, whatever that may be, and just wait this out here until this storm passes. So help me spread the word here on this new warning for those of you tuning in, and I'm actually right now working on posting the text that just came out from that. So Let me get that out there real fast as I do some double duty there. But I've left the radar on there to show you that those of you in South Pitt, in Orem, moving up towards the Jasper, Kimball area, as well as New Hope eventually down the road, that's the area right now that has this severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Again, I do want to emphasize, we do not have a tornado warning in effect anywhere right now. That previous tornado warning that was in effect for Jackson and Franklin has been canceled. Rotation weakened significantly, so the warning was dropped. However, because of the wind field from this thunderstorm, at least the straight line wind field, this has been extended as a severe thunderstorm warning into the southern Squatchy Valley and the Chattanooga Metro because of the possibility of those damaging wind gusts. So that's something that you definitely want to keep an eye out on as this moves off from west to east. Again, it's not a major deal. I'm not seeing anything really extreme on velocities, as I'll query that for you. But at least at this time, it doesn't really pan out to be anything really crazy. But again, but one thing you have to kind of consider here is the ground has been very saturated from all the rain we've seen the last several weeks here. So it's not going to take a lot of wind to knock down trees and such. So you definitely want to make sure that you are away from windows. And if you're in part of a house where a tree might fall that's over you or something, you definitely want to move to a different part that doesn't have that tree hanging over, just out of precaution, because it's not going to take a lot of energy, even a 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gust, to knock a limb over or even a small tree. So because of how saturated the ground is from all the recent rain and such. So that's another reason why the emphasis on these straight line winds has been emphasized more today. That's one of the other reasons, because of the saturated ground that makes trees more susceptible to fall, of course. So that's something that I want you to kind of keep in mind here as this moves across southern Marion County, extreme northeast Jackson, and into Hamilton County. Now I'm starting to feel better about Squatchy County, so up around Dunlap, point south around Doss, Cartwright, and even Lone Oak. I'm starting to feel better about you guys. It looks like the bulk of this is going to pass south of you, and the good thing here is this continues to weaken, so that's another good sign too. So this severe storm that's moving up into the South Pitt Jasper area is actually starting to weaken a little. So some great news there on that side of things as this moves off from west to east. So that's a really good sign there as it continues to stay disorganized. Now we do have another special weather statement that's been issued for Franklin County. This is also for the possibility of gusty wind. It's for this strong storm that's coming out of Fayetteville right now, and that does have the possibility of producing some 40 mile an hour gusts. And that advisory expires at 2:45 p.m. Central, so it's going to zip along here fairly quickly. So let's put a track on that, see how fast it's moving. And wow, that's zipping. That's moving east at 55 miles an hour. So we'll track that all the way out to the east here. Again, Belvedere, this will be in your area around 236. Winchester, Deckard area about 240 to 245. 242 for Estill Springs. Sherwood and Swanee about 253. And possibly, if it holds together, maybe Pelham just before 3 o'clock. So that's the track of that one, since that's a new warning there. And let's go ahead and track this organized area of rain and thunderstorms that are currently warned as being severe moving across Marion County. Again, downtown Chattanooga about 337 Eastern, Signal Mountain area, Fairmount around 340, as well as Red Bank about 350 for Soddy Daisy, and in the Collegedale Ooltewah area there just before 4 o'clock. So that's kind of an indication there on that area as far as the timing. Also, Rankin Cove around Loves and all that there in Marion County, and Jasper around 317. East Hill off Hancock Road at 318. Haletown about 320. Excuse me, that's Eastern time, so let me repeat that again. 217 for Rankin Cove, 218 for East Hill, 220 for the Haletown area. Bennett Lake about 221. Mineral Springs 222. About 229 for Prentice Cooper. And that's for the Marion County side. So again, there's Hickson about 345, Falling Water about 346. Again, there's downtown Chattanooga about 338, and then you get down to Red Bank 341. So those are the spots that are in the path of that right now. So in Elder Mountain there, let me get Elder Mountain back on there, about 334. Again, those were just estimated times of arrival I was given there. Again, those are very estimated, and a lot of times, considering they're estimated and can be off by a little bit, because of atmospheric motions and stuff of these storms, they can arrive a little bit earlier than those times. That's why I always say to shave off 5-10 minutes from what you hear, because it can easily be sooner. So again, it just gives you a general idea of within the next 30 minutes to an hour of where this is going, and from there. As I said, I don't think in Dunlap you have to really worry about this anymore. I know you still have that warning in effect technically, but I'll double check the motion here for you. And yeah, I just don't see this being an issue. And I really don't even see Whitwell having an issue with this. I think this is going to be mostly south of the center of Whitwell, and also south of the center of Crossroads there where the light is. But I think it's going to be south of there. So really from Victoria, Crossroads Park, south, that's the area I would be on guard, all the way down to the state line here in the lake as it moves from west to east. Now, we are getting some re-intensification of storms over the Bryant area there along 73 east of Bridgeport, and also some more heavy storms developing around Rainsville up through Henniger and Ider down to about Geraldine and northeast Alabama. And then, of course, we got this strong storm moving into going to be moving out of Lincoln County soon into Franklin County, and then Coffee County. You guys are about to get really hit pretty hard here with this strong storm. You have no warning or advisory yet in Coffee County, but well, that's a nasty thunderstorm they're moving in. That's going to likely produce some gusty winds and some torrential rain as that moves off to the east. So heads up there around Manchester, down to Tullahoma, east to Hillsborough and Summitville, and eventually that's going to move into Warren County around McMinnville, Morrison, Viola, Irving College, and then Grundy County. So Grundy County, you'll probably get this here within the next 30 minutes to an hour roughly. And then if that holds together, that might reach Dunlap, points north up through Cagle, Fall Creek Falls, Spencer here within the hour. So again, if that holds together, that's where it's going. So even a quick heads up for those of you in Pikeville that this could be heading your way as well within the hour. So we'll see if that ends up getting warned on or advised on at some point. But right now, it's not been. The only severe warning we have at this time is for Marion County and southwestern Hamilton mostly. I think we could take Sequatchie out of this warning because the worst of this is staying south of Sequatchie County. And really Jackson County outside of Bryan, I think, except for Bryan, I think you guys are good around Bridgeport points south and west. So if you're in Bridgeport or Stevenson or Bass or points west that were involved in the other warnings here earlier, you're good from this storm. Now, you're not all clear from the severe weather threat, but you are clear from this particular storm as far as this severe storm's concerned. It's now moving on top of the mountain from Long Island into Bryant, now moving into the Coal City, New Home areas of northern Dade County, and that's going to move towards Wildwood and Morganville, Hooker down to New England, north of Bridgeport and towards Westborough. They're on lookout here in a matter of minutes as that presses off to the east. Again, this one down in here is technically non-severe, but it's a heavy one producing some gusty wind and frequent lightning. So let me show you some of the latest on the wind here on this storm moving across southern Marion. You're seeing the warning update flash on the screen. That's showing some 50, 55, up to 60 here, but a little over 1,000 feet off the ground here, at least on the wind, moving across the southern end of the county, crossing over Highway 28, crossing over 72, moving right up and down the river here, moving over the lake and towards Marion County Park, Love Speedway, up towards Pleasant Grove Road, East Valley Road, and that's going to go on top of that mountain here within a matter of minutes. And then after that, it'll be Elder Mountain, Raccoon Mountain area, and eventually downtown Chattanooga here. So this is going to be the zone over the next hour that gets affected by at least the heavy rain, the lightning, and the gusty wind. Now you get up here towards Whitwell and Crossroads. I think y'all are going to be fine up there. Griffith Creek, you're good. Dunlap, you're good. And in fact, you've been taken out of the warning now. So if you're in Dunlap, you're no longer in the severe thunderstorm warning. That's been shaved south of you. So the only part of Sequatchie County that's in this severe thunderstorm warning now is the Lone Oak area. Even there, though, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not impressive. So I said I really believe it's mostly Marion and southwest Hamilton, and then you got a strong thunderstorm here moving across northeast Jackson on Sand Mountain, moving into Dade County. So really northern Dade, northern Walker, perhaps Catoosa from Ringgold and Fort O north. Keep an eye on this thunderstorm that's moving out of Bridgeport and Bryant because that's heading your way. within the next half hour to an hour. So speaking of time frame, let's go ahead and put a little track on this, and I'll fan this out on the current movement. This storm, and I can hear the thunder at my house here. This will be in Coal City pretty much right now. Morganville about 3:25. Again, these times are in Central, but I'm adding an hour to these because these are moving into the Eastern time zone. So about 3:19 Coal City, New Home area, 3:25 Morganville and Hooker, Westboro there on Lookout around 3:27, Wildwood around 3:28, the Chattanooga Valley Flintstone area about 3:32, Rock City 3:32, Lookout 3:33, Fairview 3:37, as well as Rossville. Midway about 3:39, Ridgedale about 3:39 as well. The Boynton area in Ringgold 3:45, and then that's going to go all the way down into the Ringgold area by about 3:50. Tyner 3:48, 3:41 for East Ridge, and then about 3:40 for Fort Oglethorpe. So those are the locations that are going to be impacted by this strong thunderstorm you see down here to the south within the next 30 minutes to an hour. Again, the good thing here is this thunderstorm that's been advised as a strong thunderstorm with gusty wind over the Fayetteville area moving towards Franklin County. Thankfully has shown signs of weakening. It's not as strong as it was earlier, so that's some very encouraging news there. Again, the air is a little more stable from those storms that just passed through that area a little bit earlier, at least just south, that have allowed a little bit of rain-cooled air, so hopefully that trend continues, fingers crossed. But we still got this heavy segment up in here moving into the Manchester area from Bedford County here. So Tullahoma, this is moving into your area as we speak. Again, where you see this bow in here, that's where the indication of gusty winds is that moves towards the Manchester area as well as Hillsboro. So heads up around Summitville as well. This is heading in your direction as well as New Union. And where you see this little bow right here along that leading edge, that's where the potential for strong winds is, and that's what I'm seeing here on Doppler radar. So you kind of see where that bright green is right in there. That's where it indicates that gusty wind. That could be 30, 40 miles an hour, non-severe, but it's something to watch as that moves toward the northern end of Grundy County and the southern half of Warren County, where it's already pouring up in here on the north side of McMinnville up towards Centertown, Green Hill, DeBrell areas, and then that's going to move up towards Sparta, Rock Island area here in a matter of minutes. So again, just not to forget about you guys out here to the west, because I know I got several of you that follow me out in here from Tullahoma up towards Manchester and McMinnville. So you got heavy thunderstorms moving in up in here, but those currently do not pose a severe weather concern. The one that's still warned on right now is the one moving across southern Marion. I will say this, the wind is really starting to lower here, at least on velocities. I'm not seeing any severe gusts at the moment. I'm seeing more of 40 to 50 in here along I-24 here in southern Marion County. So again, this continues to slowly diminish here, at least on the Tennessee side, on the wind and even the rain side of things. I mean, it's still raining a pretty good bit, but it's not really heavy. And considering that I live in the Jasper area, the wind hasn't really been gusty at all here. So really, to be honest with you, I think this warning could probably be allowed to be canceled here at some point, because I've not heard any wind here over the last 10 minutes where I am. I mean, I'm hearing the rain, but I'm not hearing any of the wind. So from a first-hand point of view, I don't think this is really a severe storm anymore here, at least on the Marion side. But I think the stronger side is hanging out around Haletown and points south through Lads, Whiteside into northern Dade County, and extending down through the Bryan area of Sand Mountain in Jackson County. And so, I mean, it's not a severe storm down here, but it's a strong thunderstorm with some gusty wind that's moving into Dade as we speak. So right around where the outdoor movie theater is there off I-59 in Sligo, that's the next area that's in line to see that. And then up around Grundy County, I know you're probably hearing some rain and maybe a little bit of thunder up in here, but that's all there is up in here, just some good soaking rain and a little bit of lightning and thunder. And then up here around, of course, McMinnville, you got the same thing happening up that way. Again, Manchester, it's about to get rough here in a matter of a minute. So the good thing here is that at least it's not a severe storm, but things are going to get really messy here within a matter of maybe 5 minutes. This line's moving in right now, and it's moving into Tullahoma basically right now as well. And now there is a little bit of pink in here, so there is the possibility that this may produce a little bit, maybe some pea-sized hail, but I'm not seeing any indications of rotation or anything like that right now, and really in any of these storms. Now, the reason why I came on here is because we had that tornado warning earlier in southern Franklin and northern Jackson, but that has since been allowed to expire. And I can actually briefly show you. Well, I can't because now the radar unfortunately doesn't go back that far. But we now have another. I see another severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. So I have to kind of interrupt myself there for a minute. We had another warning that goes into effect just west of our area. That goes for northern Madison County, Limestone, into Lincoln County. That warning goes in effect for the next hour, and that one's got a tornado possible tag. So, again, this will have to be watched. And the reason why I point out this warning, too, is because this is heading east also in our direction. So, that's something to note there. Now, they have taken Jasper, Kimball, South Pitt out of this severe thunderstorm warning. So, if you're in those cities, Little Squatchy up towards Whitwell Crossroads, you're clear from this storm. As far as this particular severe storm, you're good. You got more coming from the west, but as far as the threat of a severe storm, this is moving to your south and east. So the warning now, the severe thunderstorm warning, now only includes Haletown, Lads, Whiteside, points east into downtown Chattanooga, Lookout Valley, Tiftonia area, Elder Mountain, Lookout, Ridgeside, East Ridge, Missionary Ridge, the North Shore, Red Bank, Hickson, all the airport, all these areas in here are in the path of this severe storm that could produce some gusty winds. And this expires here in about 20 minutes. So let me get you the new update on that warning. So let's see what's being said. I've not seen an extension for Dade, but that's a strong storm there on that southern flank. This goes in effect here. This is actually, it looks like they've issued a new one. Let me make sure. I don't know if that's right. Okay, no, that's not. Okay, this is a new update here. This warning remains in effect until 3:45 p.m. Eastern, 2:45 p.m. Central for southeastern Marion and southwestern Hamilton counties. At 3:21 p.m. Eastern, 2:21 p.m. Central, a severe thunderstorm was located just southeast of Jasper. It's moving east at 40 miles an hour. Hazard is 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It's radar indicated. Locations that are in the path of this include Chattanooga, Signal Mountain, Walden, Ridgeside, Red Bank, Lookout Mountain, Haletown, and New Hope. So those are the locations in the path there. And this also includes Interstate 75 in Tennessee between mile markers 1 and 3. And this also, of course, includes I-24 from Lake Nickajack, so basically Nickajack Lake, all the way to the I-24, I-75 split in a nutshell. And also goes out to about East Springer Road and 153 actually as well. That's the eastern edge of the polygon. So if you have to travel anywhere between Jasper, so basically between Jasper, Nickajack Lake, through the Chattanooga Metro and Hamilton County, just be aware that you have a strong to severe storm that you're going to run into that actually has been cycling a little bit. It's trying to re-intensify again as it moves through the river gorge and all that out in there, and as well as Whiteside, and that's moving east into the city here. So this is going to move right into the Chattanooga area here within a matter of minutes. Now, the good thing here is the wind continues to look down. I mean, it's probably a little higher down in here around around the Etna Mountain, I should say, but down through Whiteside. But even that doesn't look too terribly impressive, at least on that view. Again, also this is going in between mountains so that can also make it a little bit harder to detect. But just out of precaution, this severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for southeastern Hamilton and southwestern Marion counties here through the next 20 minutes. So we got 20 more minutes on this, and by that point it'll be in Hamilton County totally by that point, and out of Marion. So we'll be able to clear all of Marion totally. Even though I will say, if you're in Kimball, South Pitt, Jasper, points north and west, and even New Hope, you're good, as this is east of you. At least this severe storm is east of you. Now, you do have to keep an eye on this stuff out here to the west because these have been warned on back here. So, for example, this Fayetteville area down to the south and west, that's now been warned on as a severe thunderstorm warning. So, we got to keep an eye on these as they move off to the east. Hopefully, this thunderstorm air out ahead of it takes up a lot of energy so that way this second wave ends up being weaker, but can't guarantee that at the moment. So, you just got to remain on guard. Again, not to forget about those of you up around Coffee County from Tullahoma up through Manchester, Summitville, Centertown, McMinnville, and even Rock Island. You got some strong thunderstorms with a lot of lightning, some heavy rain, and some gusty wind even, but thankfully nothing really crazy. Let me see what this signature is around Tullahoma. It looks like make sure that's not any weak rotation. Okay, good. So doesn't look like anything big, but I was watching just saw that little notch right there try to form, so just wanted to make sure that wasn't anything wild or anything. But So far, it's not. Thankfully, there's no warning in effect. Again, these are just some gusty thunderstorms here moving across southern Middle Tennessee, crossing over I-24. So if you know anybody that's traveling, also between Mont Eagle and Murfreesboro here through Coffee County, make sure they are aware that they're going to be running across some strong thunderstorms here. It's definitely going to be a mess out there as that crosses from west to east. Again, no warning at the moment, but gusty thunderstorm with that gusty wind, heavy rain, frequent lightning, maybe a little pea-sized hail in that too, but nothing big. Same thing up around the McMinnville area, up towards Sparta. Some more heavy rain up in here. So again, just to not leave anybody out, because we got 3 different little areas, 3 to 4 different areas of clusters of storms to watch. And also not forgetting about Rising Fawn. You got a heavy storm moving over you in southern Dade County there south of Trenton. And also down through Rainsville, north of Geraldine, through about Collinsville, some heavy downpours here. And the good news here is this severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for Marion and Hamilton counties has been canceled. So as I've been saying in the last few minutes, and also from personal experience here, there's really just not a lot of wind with this. It's not very strong in it. So this is really just going to be one of those messy, heavy downpours, maybe a little bit of 30 to 40 mile an hour winds. So the severe thunderstorm warning for Marion and Hamilton has been canceled. It was canceled here just now at 2:28 p.m. on Monday, June 22nd. So it was slated to expire here in about 17 minutes, 18 minutes, but thankfully it's weakened to the point where it's no longer severe at this point. So again, we'll continue I'll continue watching these storms out here to the west that are southwest of Fayetteville towards Elkmont, just in case they try to re-intensify. And I'm also keeping an eye on this one up in here across Coffee County, moving into Warren. And then, of course, here are the other thunderstorms. Here's one around Resaca, north of Calhoun. Here's the other one north of Geraldine, moving towards Fife and Fort Payne. And then here's northern Dade County, getting hit pretty good up in here around Coal City and New Homes. Some very heavy rain. Moving right over where the outdoor movie theater is, right off I-59 in Sligo there. Moving into Wildwood as we speak. So, again, if you know anybody that's traveling from between Jasper and Chattanooga right now, just make sure they're aware that they're going to run into some very heavy thunderstorms here with that lightning and the very torrential rain. Make sure your lights are on, especially in this situation. Make sure your lights are on. Now, let me double check here and see if also as I put this out in the big view here, so that way everybody can see all the different rain and thunderstorm activity going on right now. I'm also going to check and see if there's going to be any kind of watch extension here, see if that's going to potentially pop up here. I've not seen anything yet, so I've not heard of anything yet on that, so I'll double check and make sure on the mesoscale discussions, and no. So there's not been any word on whether that watch is going to get extended or issued again. So also a good sign here, maybe these thunderstorms are trending, hopefully at some point a little weaker, but we'll just have to wait and see. So let's put on some Futurecast here. We're getting in some new data here, so what I'll do is I'll actually switch out of this source here, and I'll go over here to the other one here. This is the modeling here, the recent run from the HRRR. And you can see here over the next several hours, we'll continue having these clusters of rain and strong to severe storms moving through. Again, we're not quite done yet. We still got more waves to go here because the main front hadn't gotten through here, as well as the low pressure system. It's still way out here to the west. So we still got a long ways to go here through the next several hours, all the way through this evening here. As you see, we'll continue to have more waves on and off of these rain and thunderstorms. Things should start letting up as we get towards midnight and afterwards. So this will not be an all-night thing. You will not have to stay up all night. I do want to emphasize that. You might have to stay up an extra hour than normal, just out of precaution, but you will not have to stay up all night. In fact, a lot of you will be able to go to bed on your normal time, so that's the good thing for tonight. So this stuff will be clearing out here as we get towards midnight. But the first half of the night, especially the early evening and such, late afternoon, early evening here, over the next several hours, we're just going to have to watch everything very carefully here, just to make sure we don't get any additional severe storm development. And if they do, of course, I'm right on top of it. So, again, let's check on this thunderstorm here moving into the metro here. Again, just a gusty just a gusty wind signature here at this point, if anything, at most. But really, the main thing with this one is it's just a torrential downpour producer with some thunder and lightning. A mess to drive in. That's going to be a mess to drive in for anybody that has to do that here on this Monday afternoon. That's going to be a mess. So just heads up there around downtown and down I-24 through the Ridge Cut, East Ridge, down to Rossville, Fort O, up to Red Bank even, and even the south side of Hickson. This is going to get it's going to get messy here in a matter of minutes. And then here's the other storm to watch, south of Trenton, moving on top of the mountain there, moving towards the Cooper Heights area of Walker County. That may impact Rock Spring. Again, I'm still keeping an eye on this severe storm out to the west. These are actually showing a little bit of some weak rotation out here west of us here. But at the moment, these currently are not. They seem to be slowly losing their intensity just a little bit, but again, they could easily re-intensify. So stay on alert here across southern Franklin County, especially south of Winchester, around Huntland, Keith Springs Mountain, Sherwood. Keep an eye on these severe storms to your west as they move in your direction. And it does appear also that High Top and basically the same areas that got impacted by the tornado warning earlier, you could have more thunderstorms in your area within the next hour as well. This pink that you see up here, moving into Summitville for Manchester, could be some small hail. It says it's not large, and really this is just a gusty wind signature along with that torrential rains that moves right up Highway 55 here as it moves right up Highway 55 towards the Warren County line, eventually Morrison. So Morrison, Viola, it's about to get really heavy here in a matter of minutes, so get ready for that there. McMinnville, you're kind of in breaks in between, at least downtown, but you're going to have more moving in a matter of minutes. Campaign up through Midway, Rock Island, Quebec, Doyle, up in here across southern White County, northern Van Buren. More heavy thunderstorms moving in as we speak. And then some other downpours have popped up here around the Watts Bar nuclear plant area over towards the 10-mile northern Meigs County. A shower over Nyota. And we now have another special weather statement that's been issued for Walker, Catoosa, western Whitfield counties for this strong storm that's coming out of Rising Fawn and moving down the mountain into the Cooper Heights, Chickamauga, Rock Spring areas. This is going to be for 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Again, this will encompass southeastern Dade County, central Walker County, most of Catoosa, and extreme western Whitfield. Not quite Dalton, but this advisory will run out in effect until that point. So let's put a quick track on that, give you some estimated times of arrival here. Again, that's moving east to about 45. So Ringgold there around 4 o'clock. Tunnel Hill area around 4:05, and I'll actually zoom in so we can get a few more communities in here. So let's actually go down here a little bit more. So Cooper Heights around 3:39. Again, this is Walker County, Georgia. 3:44 for Pond Spring, 3:50 for Rock Spring, Mount Pisgah about 3:55, about 4 o'clock for Ringgold, so 4 o'clock for Ringgold, Trickham about 4:02, Tunnel Hill about 4:05, Rocky Face 4:06, and we now move towards the Dalton area. Dalton about 4:11, as well as Varnell. Cohutta about 4:14, and as we go further into Murray County, Chatsworth and Eton around 4:26. That's for this strong thunderstorm you see here. Put a track on this one up here to the north, and then we'll track that other storm up around the McMinnville area. Again, this is moving to the east, northeast here, so we'll track this through the metro here. Downtown Chattanooga here in about 5 minutes. If at most, around 3:40. The airport, 3:47. This also includes Ridgedale, Avondale at about 3:40, 3:45. Around the Shepherd area, right around the airport there, 3:48. Forest Hills, 3:46. Tyner, 3:51. Harrison, 3:54. Appleton, Collegedale, Ottawa there just right around or just before 4 o'clock. Really around 4 o'clock, to be honest. So that's that's the track on that one. And then here to the west, let me double check and see, because we don't have an official speed on these to the west. So let me see if, in fact, I'll just do 40 like the rest of these here, just to be on the safe side. So let's do that. At least maybe it might give some advance notice here out towards Spencer and Pikeville here. Again, Viola here in a matter of minutes here, around the 242, about 315 for Spencer, 330 for Pikeville, and then the Indian Rock Lake area of Cumberland County about 337. And McMinnville, it's pretty much over you now in a nutshell. And same with Morrison on top of you here. If it's not there, it'll be there in a matter of seconds, if not a couple minutes. And then that's going to advance east from there. So that's the situation with those at this time. And again, at the moment, I'm not seeing any other severe storms other than these out here. What I'm doing here is I'm waiting to see how these behave out here to the west in case this warning gets extended because into Franklin County and Jackson again like it was earlier. But we'll just investigate these real quick because these do have a tornado possible tag on them. Good thing here is even though there is a little bit of weak rotation in these out here to the west and north and west of Huntsville here, these are fairly broad, definitely gusty wind producers. But again, at the moment, that's all there is to them. So this one warning out here that goes almost to the Jackson-Franklin County line here, which expires in 37 minutes, it does have that tornado possible tag with both of these. So we'll have to watch that carefully. And then here's some other storms that are forming out towards the shoals. If those hold together, these back here to the west will eventually impact, again, northeast Alabama and areas of northwest Georgia that haven't gotten anything yet. So you'll have to watch these that are coming out of northwest Alabama here over the next several hours as those move east. As I said, we got multiple waves that are going to be moving through here on and off over the next several hours on the way through tonight. So when you do hear an all clear, if you do, as far as from a storm is concerned, it's from an individual storm. It's not from the whole event. I do want to emphasize that. So if you do get an all clear, it's only from an individual storm that's been warned as severe. Until we get the main front and the main low pressure system through here, and that's going to take. And that's not going to take until until roughly just right around or just before midnight for that to get through here. So we got a long way to go here. Hopefully, the hope is that these thunderstorms here moving through the metro area and down through Walker County and up through Coffee County into Warren and Van Buren here. Hopefully, these storms here will take a lot of the energy out from the ones that may move in towards the evening and tonight and keep those from getting severe. That's what we're hoping for here, is that these that you see out here will allow the rain-cooled air to sink down, make things stable. But again, if we get any kind of clearing or some sun breaks in between any of these rounds, then that does kind of change things a little bit, and that can make things a little more unstable. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And speaking of satellite, there are some cloud breaks to the south and west here from Huntsville south and west. So these thunderstorms out around the shoals definitely do have quite a bit of warm air and high instability to run into out that way. So hopefully, as I said, the clouds that we have here from these thunderstorms and everything else, hopefully that will help to stabilize things as we head towards the evening here with time. Again, right now, we're not working any warnings in effect. We just got some strong thunderstorms. Again, the reason why I'm hanging on here a little bit longer than I usually would for when we don't have any warnings is because I want to make sure that these out here to the west are not trying to re-intensify or potentially pose any kind of a wind or tornadic threat or anything like that. And since these are warned on back here to the west, I'm just hanging around here so we can watch those and make sure that if anything happens, it'll be caught. But some strong gusty wind is moving over the Hillsboro area, moving up into Viola there on 127 there. State Route 127, that is. Not the 127 that goes up through Signal and Dunlap and Pikeville. This is the State Route 127 here that goes across Coffee and into portions of Warren County there around Viola. But again, some gusty thunderstorms through here. The pink you see on here, that does indicate a little bit of small hail. Haven't had a chance to check this product out yet, so let me show you what that looks like. The vertically integrated liquid, I know it's a lot to say, but you see where this bright red is. That's an indication of some small hail. So that's another way that I can look at to show you where there could be some small hail, and that's what I'm seeing here with this storm moving across southern Warren County here from near and just south of downtown McMinnville around Irving College. Again, here's the city here. So downtown Chattanooga now getting in on the heavy rain. Same with Lookout, Tiftonia, Elder Mountain, up through the North Shore, Red Bank. And that's all moving east towards Rossville Boulevard, Rossville proper, over into East Ridge, Brainerd area, the airport, Hamilton Place. This is all going to be in your area here within a matter of a few minutes, if that. So it's moving fairly quickly, so that's a good thing. It'll be in and out. But at the same time, for those few minutes that you're in there, 5, 10, maybe up to 15 minutes, it's going to be quite torrential, these downpours are. We got a lot of moisture in the air today. I forgot to mention that earlier. We got a lot of moisture in the air. Precipitable water values are in about the 1 to 2, 2.5 inch range. So that means we have a lot of water in the atmosphere. The atmosphere is loaded up with a lot of moisture, and you can kind of feel it when you step outside. You can feel that humidity. That's just the fuel that these thunderstorms are tapping into and creating these very torrential downpours and even some strong to severe storms in some areas. Now, we do have a new special weather statement that's been issued for Warren and Van Buren counties. So that's for this area that I'm seeing that has the possibility of a little bit of small hail and some gusty wind up to 40. So let me get the information on that real fast. Again, this is this northern one you see right here. Again, I've gotten it out to the full view so you can see everybody else here. This is a strong thunderstorm will impact Van Buren and Warren counties through 3:30. So for the next 45 minutes. At 2:41, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm located 8 miles southwest of McMinnville. It's moving northeast at 50 miles an hour, so it's sped up quite a bit. Wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour is the main threat, and also it's radar indicated. And there could also be a little bit of pea-sized hail, but it's not large. Locations that are in the path of that include McMinnville, Spencer, Morrison, Viola, Rock Island, and Fall Creek Falls. So if you know anybody that's outside at Fall Creek Falls, considering this is heading in the direction, if you know anybody that may be camping or whatever that may be, make sure that they find shelter somewhere inside a vehicle or something nearby that will offer good protection from the lightning. You don't want to be out there in that lightning. So if you know anybody that happens to be outside up there or outside anywhere up in there, whether it's doing outdoor activities or whatever that is, just make sure that anybody you know, they are getting inside, just waiting these thunderstorms out, and considering there's a big lightning threat and such with them. So, and you definitely don't want to be out there when you got lightning. Let's check on these severe storms here moving across right down the Tennessee-Alabama border. Good thing is this one down here to the south and west has got a little bit of rotation in it, this northern storm seems to be weakening, but the southern one here seems to be intensifying there south of Ardmore. So that'll be something to watch for you folks around Huntland, as well as High Top in northern Jackson County down the road. So that's why I pointed out. So if it holds together, let me get you a track to show you where it'll go if it can hold together. So let's give you kind of an estimated path there. So this would be around Huntland. Now the northern storm will get there sooner, but if the southern storm holds together, it'll be around your area at 3:38 in Huntland, about 3:57 in High Top, Sherwood around 4:15. Stevenson about 4:24, Orem area around 4:27, Bridgeport about 4:36, and about 4:40 for South Pitt and New Hope. Big if here, if this one thunderstorm holds together. I got my doubts on it making it all the way there because there's a chance it may merge into a cluster, a little linear cluster that's actually trying to happen out here to the south and west, so it may merge into one line. But if it were to hold together, that's where the trajectory is, and you can kind of see the line here in the middle, the white line there, the white dashed line. That's practically white line center line right here, moving right down the state line. So that's where that's going. It does appear that advisory that was in effect for Hamilton County and also Marion has been allowed to expire. So the blue polygon you just saw there that went off the screen, that was the special weather statement. That has been allowed to expire because it's reached its expiration point, and we'll see if they end up extending that. But I'll tell you, this is a big mess here going across the city right now. So downtown through the North Shore, out towards Erlanger, Central Avenue, Dodds, McCauley area, moving into and about to cross the ridge into Brainerd, down in the East Ridge, points east, Hamilton Place area, all the way up into Harrison. Hickson and Soddy are not going to get a lot from this. I mean, just some rain up in here. I mean, you're not going to get all that much up here, but really from the river and south, that's going to be the zone in Hamilton County and in the city of Chattanooga that gets this. And this will also impact Ooltewah, Collegedale, Appleton here within the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. And then we got this other strong storm that thankfully has weakened quite a bit over Chickamauga, moving towards Ringgold. Just a heavy downpour at this point, nothing big there. Some heavy rain moving into Bridgeport. Again, non-severe there. Then we got another downpour moving into Deckard and downtown Winchester, up through Hillsboro, and then here's the one that's been advised on for a strong thunderstorm moving up from Viola, up the highway into McMinnville there, east, down Highway 30 into Spencer, up 111 into Doyle and Sparta. That's moving northeast, so heads up around the northern end of Bledsoe County from Pikeville north, and eventually up towards Crossville. Within the next hour, you will probably get this thunderstorm here in about the next hour or two. And then here's these severe storms that are currently warned on across Lincoln and Madison counties, just west of our immediate area here. Again, some velocities here. They are both weakly rotating. I do have to note here, but they are being watched carefully, and it looks like they let this warning go, so that's a good sign there. So hopefully that may be a sign that this is weakened below severe levels. So let me make sure that I'm reading that correctly here, see if make sure they don't reissue that. And it does appear they have canceled that warning, so some great news there. So that warning that was in effect in just west of our area for Lincoln, Madison, and Limestone counties, that's actually been canceled. So some great news there, considering both of those have fallen below severe levels. Now, I do have to note real quick, this one to the south and west does have a little bit of weak rotation southeast of Ardmore, but it's not enough to really warrant a major concern at this time. And in fact, that's been replaced by a special weather statement. So with that said, since we don't have any warnings at this time, I'm going to sign off here since we don't have any severe weather warnings at this point that I'm watching. We do have some strong thunderstorms to point out, though. I do want to point out before I take a quick break here. So for the Chattanooga Metro, you got a heavy thunderstorm moving across town, moving to the east towards Ooltewah and Collegedale. The one that was that's been advised on from Chickamauga northeast, that storm to the south, is weakened a good bit. And then we got this other strong storm from moving up from Viola towards Irving College and McMinnville, moving up into Van Buren County towards Spencer and Fall Creek Falls. And then we got these other strong thunderstorms that are trying to line up out here to the west, from the Shoals east through just south of Fayetteville. Those will eventually, with time, move back into our area again. As we go through the next several hours, and especially as we go into the evening here, we're going to have more rounds of these rain and thunderstorms. And again, some of them could be strong to severe, again, with the main threat being strong wind gusts, the heavy downpours, the lightning. Could be a little bit small hail in a few locations. And there's also a small, low end, but non-zero threat of a quick spin-up tornado or two. So we're not quite out of the woods on that yet, but it's a low-end threat, but I'm watching it carefully. So with that said, I am signing off from the live stream. I will continue keeping y'all updated as necessary here through tonight, through the rest of the afternoon into tonight. Stay tuned for updates.